Welcome to the HR Empowerment Podcast, where we will uncover strategies and new insights from HR professionals who discuss up-to-date regulations, best practices, and the most pressing topics like diversity and equity, leadership, dealing with difficult situations, and much more that affect your bottom line and business. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Wendy Sellers here, the HR lady. We are here in episode 5 of 5 in the series talking about entrepreneurship and success. In our 5th session today, our final session, Jessica is going to reflect on, her journey as a business operations consultant. And then we're going to talk about visions and aspirations for sustainable growth. But before we get there, right before we wrapped up session 4, we were talking about what gets measured gets managed. And I'm going to turn this over to JC.
Hey, Wendy, aloha to you here on the Friday episode. Aloha to everyone out there as well. Look, the concept of what gets measured gets managed, it's supported by evidence. It shows that companies that systematically track and measure performance metrics are 29% more likely to hit their business objectives and improve productivity. So it's not mythical. It's a real thing. And that's backed up by the Harvard Business Review. Ms. Jess knows what she's talking about above and beyond. How do I book you? I need a consultation now, Jess. Let me tell you. You're bringing out the good ones today.
Yeah, Jess, how do our listeners find you?
Yeah, so J Mills Consulting is my website. And then Jessica at J Mills Consulting is my email. I'm also on Instagram at jmills_consulting. And I'm on LinkedIn as Jessica Millheiser. And if any of this has resonated or if you have questions, I would love to connect. I would love to chat. I would love to help you in whatever way that looks like for you.
So I know we talked about a little bit in session 1, just kind of about where your background is, like, whoa, all over the place. That was amazing, though. The interesting thing I find with entrepreneurs, which you are, is when you do have a very unique and diverse background that on a resume might not make sense. I find those people are the ones that are the best help, because they're like, oh, I've had my foot in there. I've been over there. I know how to do this. And it's like, oh, wow, you know everything. So congratulations.
Thank you. It's definitely been a journey. And again, like I said in episode 1, I consider myself an accidental entrepreneur, but I am thrilled to be here. I am thrilled. It is not a life I imagined for myself, but the work that I do, the clients that I support, it has been so rewarding and so incredible. And, that is not to say that I'm going to be doing this forever. I like change. I will just say, I like change. I like doing different things. I change
do too.
So if a different opportunity presents itself in the future, 3, 5, 10 years from now, I might jump on it. I'm just open to receiving and open to continuing to do what feels good, what feels right, what feels true to me. So,
do you have any upcoming projects that you're really excited about?
Well, I just launched that new service, the Service Startup Blueprint from concept to launch, which I think will be super helpful for people that are trying to launch either a new service or like one of those annual program type of things. I'm also collaborating with a gal named Susie Rains. She works with mostly medical professionals who are transitioning out of medical profession to entrepreneurship. So she and I are going to be collaborating on some stuff together. And she's really cool. She's really down to earth. She's also a big fan of keeping things simple. So we really jive that way. And just kind of keeping on. Got a couple of speaking engagements coming up this fall. And
that's so exciting. I do too. I'll be on a plane, probably a little bit more than I care to admit. But in the end, it'll be fun once I get there. Before we, wrap up session 5 here, I want to kind of go back and talk a little bit more just about, the documentation that these business owners, regardless of size, need to do. Where do you suggest they start? Because it's overwhelming to say, oh my God, everything I need to do, I need to document and put it in a training manual or at least on a checklist for myself. Yeah. Where do they start?
So my recommendation is always make a list. I love lists. You guys will learn that about me very quickly. Make a list of the things that are high frequency and high impact. So what are the things that you do often? What are the things that have a big impact on how your business moves forward? And honestly, if you can just time block an hour a week and try to tackle a process documentation of 1 or 2 a week, it will be slow, but you'll be consistent and you will start to kind of create that documentation for yourself. And keep it simple, focus on those frequency and impactful tasks. And I feel like there was one other thing I was going to say, but I can't remember.
That's all right. Maybe we can write that down, right?
Yes, exactly.
Businesses with comprehensive documentation practices are 62% more likely to experience sustainable growth, as it helps maintain consistency, improves efficiency, and facilitates training and onboarding. And that's not just from me. That's endorsed by the Project Management Institute. Back to you.
Yeah, and they're kind of a big deal, the PMI. One other thing I wanted to say, just some advice for our listeners. If you are working for an entrepreneur, if you are an entrepreneur, some things that have helped me as an entrepreneur is those things that I keep moving around on my task list. And I'm like, I'll do that next week. I'll do that next week. I'll do that next week. Sometimes I just delete them and nothing happens. And I'm like, why did I put that there? What did I really, apparently, if I'm not being urgent about it and I'm the owner, it doesn't matter. It was some kind of pipe dream. So there's sometimes I just really look at my wish list and say, no, that's a wish list, but it's not relevant to what's going on with my clients today. Focus on what matters today, get that documented, get the checklist going, the scorecards, all those things, and then move forward.
And I also think keeping it visible, right? Like I have anything that I'm measuring on my wall. And I have a weekly dashboard of like prioritized focus points. So I think sitting down, finding some quiet time to sit down and actually think through like, what are my actual focus points for my business this week? What is actually going to move my needle forward? And everything else can just fall away. Like focus on your next prioritized things.
Absolutely. Very good advice. JC, any final words here before we wrap up?
I've got $1 million question real quick. This is just from knowing a little bit about your social media and some things that you put out there. If you could please just tell us a little bit about this newsletter that you've been promoting recently.
Yeah. So I have a once a month newsletter, and it's got usually either a business tip or a book rec or an industry insight. I also have a featured fempreneur section. So female entrepreneurs I love to kind of support and promote, and they're always in my newsletter. And then I have a coffee poll where I give away a $10 gift card, y'all. So once a month, I swear it's not salesy. I swear it's really valuable. It's really helpful. So if you are interested, you can also sign up for that at my website.
And awesome. What is that website one more time, if I may?
Yes, it's jmillsconsulting.com/newsletter.
I love it. This has been awesome. Thank you so much. And thanks everybody for listening to this 5-part series on helping entrepreneurs build better, sustainable businesses. We hope this has been helpful. Thanks for joining us and take care.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining the HR Empowerment Podcast, brought to you by Aurora Training Advantage. We hope you've gained new insight and strategies to navigate the HR profession. We look forward to you joining us again on the HR Empowerment Podcast.